Today we have the legendary Ruth Guerster, number 3 for this event, in against Brisbane housewife Jill Coombs. Ruth has the best record of any Australian 10-pin bowler, including 5 Singapore Masters, 5 Australian Masters, 5 Sunshine Classics, 4 South Pacific Classics, 3 Australian Opens and 2 TAA 10-pin 10,000s. She's represented Victoria for 15 years and she's bowled 3 times for Australia in FIQ competition. Ruth won a gold medal in the 1981 World Games in California and she's never placed lower than 7th in 4 attempts to win the Bowling World Cup, with a 3rd her best effort. Jill Coombs has bowled for Queensland 7 times. She owns the 6-game Australian record with 1329 and has a high game of 299. Jill won the Brisbane City Masters in 1977 and 1981. We'll be back with the action after this break. And here we are for the 3rd program of our O Invitational series from Woden Bowl in Canberra, and Jill Coombs of Queensland making her first appearance on the program. She's seated number 4 in the women's section and she'll be meeting one of Australia's all-time great 10-pin bowlers, Ruth Guerster of Victoria. My co-commentator for this match and all of the series is Bob Cook.
Thank you, Steve. Not a bad start for Jill. Right on the nose. She probably a bit nervous. She's playing the greatest Australian lady bowler our game has had. Ruth has over 24 major titles to her name, and she's always a very formidable opponent.
Yes, formidable in height too, 5'11", like Ruth Guerster, and she's opened up just like a champion would with a strike.
Yeah, she'll be pleased with that. It's always nice to get off the mark.
Yes, Jill Coombs, her first appearance on television, so it won't be easy for her in this particular match. The winner of this match goes on to meet the number 2 seed, Jenny Burton of Canberra, in a couple of weeks' time, and early days yet, of course, but Ruth has opened up with that strike.
Jill has a lot of experience. She's represented her state, Brisbane, Queensland, I beg your pardon, 5 years.
Well, there's 9 for Ruth Guerster in the 2nd frame, so she'll still be well ahead.
Yes, Jill cannot afford to make too many mistakes against this lady.
That's a better shot. It was in the Brooklyn side, but she got a strike all the same. The Brooklyn side being the 1-2 pocket, as opposed to the normal right-hander's 1-3 pocket.
And of course, when it's only a 1-game playoff, all of those strikes count, no matter which way they come.
That's for sure, and there's a spare for Ruth Guerster. Ruth, a 4-time winner of the South Pacific Classic, but Jill Coombs, no slouch at the game. She's won the Brisbane City Masters in 1977 and 1981, and she has a high game of 299, one of the few women in Australia to have got up near the magical 300, and she has an Australian record of 6 games for 1,329. That's an average of 221 for those 6 games that she bowled in Adelaide a couple of years ago.
A lucky result for Jill. She hit the head pin high again, as she did in the first frame on lane 4, and almost left an even bigger split than the first shot. But she only got 9. That was okay.
And a beautiful shot from Ruth Guerster. We'll have another look at that one. Right in the pocket and taking out the 4-pin.
That's where the ball needs to be to knock down the 10 pins. Ruth showed us all the aim of the game.
Well, there's a spare now for Jill Coombs in the 3rd frame. And the score, 11 pins the difference, Ruth Guerster's way.
Jill is a good example of how 10-pin bowling can be perfected by bowlers of any age. She's a grandmother of 8 children, and she still plays a mean game.
Well, Ruth now. Oh, she looked vicious at that one. We'll have another look at that strike as well. She liked that one when she let it go. Look at that reaction.
Saw the 6-pin kick out of the gutter and carry the 10 there. That's a good shot.
And applying a bit of pressure there, and Jill hasn't risen to the occasion there. She got up to the foul line much too quickly, and as a result, of course, the ball didn't make it up to the head pin.
Yes, always a bad shot when a bowler of this calibre misses the head pin. It leaves more than 2 pins generally, and it's always harder to spare when you've got a combination of pins there. Always a likelihood of leaving one.
Well, it's a difficult one for her, but I think she's... Oh, yes, she's got it. Oh, a little bit of luck creeping into Jill Coombs' game there. She never looked like getting that one, but let's have a look at it again. And there goes the 4-pin.
Ruth now, she's got 2 strikes in a row. She'll be looking for another one. It'll give her a very big lead early in the game.
And she takes a long time on the approach to get herself set, full of concentration. Oh, she went high. You could see her facial expression there saying it all, but she got away with it. She's left only 2 pins in the corner. Now we're back with Jill.
And Jill concentrating well now. That's
yes.
a good release.
Yes, a good one.
Another 9. Nines are very important. They're always worth a lot of pins. They're easy to spare. Strikes are better, of course, but if you can't get the strike, there's nothing wrong with the 9. Ruth will be looking to spare these 2. We can't afford one miss in a one-game playoff.
Well, there's a spare for Ruth Guerster in the 5th frame and 23 pins ahead now. 88 for Ruth Guerster, 65 for Jill Coombs, going for this corner pin, the 10 pin. And she's shooting right across the lane at it, and a beautiful spare for her. And still 23 pins the difference. Both of the ladies with spares working in the 5th frame.
A perfect execution of a 10 pin, actually. That's the ideal way to spare it across the lane. It was good for any young bowler to see how to do that. A lot of bowlers attempt to bowl too far down the right-hand side of the lane, but Jill did it spot on. Ruth now looking menacing.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Full of determination, this lady. A great champion.
Well, Jill Coombs, only 23 pins the difference. She had a very nice push away then. And that one, a perfect result. We'll have a look at Jill's strike again. That's the best ball she's bowled in the game so far. Still 23 pins the difference. She doesn't want to let Ruth Guerster get away to a good lead. And with 5 frames to go, still anyone's game.
No, Steve, 23 pins behind at this stage. She has to get strikes now. And she responded magnificently. That was a beautiful strike. Ruth will be looking to add another one.
Ooh, a wayward shot, and Ruth now in a little bit of bother, particularly if Jill can add another one to that strike. Let's have a look at Jill.
Yes, it's a very important shot. And Jill knows it. Look at that concentration.
Pretty solid push away.
It's loose.
Oh, she's got away with it. Let's have a look at that strike. Very much on the Brooklyn side. Just clip the 1 pin there, and there goes about 4 or 5 pins all at once.
A perfect example of pin action. And that was the result she wanted. May not have been the way she wanted to get it, but it was the result.
Ooh, Ruth went for that, and of course she had to at that stage. The situation now is very, very close. Jill Coombs from Queensland could take a lead with another strike.
And that was a tough break for Ruth. That's a difficult spare. The ball fits between those 2 pins with very little room to spare. It's got to be a pinpoint shot, and she just missed.
Well, that's another strike required, and she's got it. 3 strikes in a row for Jill Coombs, making a great comeback here against Ruth Guerster, and she's taken a small lead now, probably about 8 or 9 pins the difference from a 23-pin deficit a couple of frames ago. It's quite an amazing game.
Incredible how the game can turn so quickly. Now the pressure back onto Ruth. Not following through as she'd like to. The ball's crossing to the left of the head pin, making it all the more difficult to get a strike there.
Yes, that's usually the result of a Brooklyn ball, a pulled shot. When you don't follow straight through, you follow through and cut it short. And, of course, the ball usually travels over to the left-hand side.
Should have no problems with the 5 pin. It's right in the middle of the deck. A champion bowler such as Ruth should get it every shot. Oh, what have I said?
I don't believe it.
Oh, no.
I don't believe that. I would say that that's possibly the first 5 pin that Ruth Guerster has missed in 20 years. And I don't think I'd be talking out of school there.
I don't think I'll call one of those shots again, Steve.
Okay, we're back with Jill on 3 strikes in a row. She's got a good lead now, particularly after Ruth made that horrible error. But not adding 4. An easy spare for her. And she'll be about 18 pins ahead with the 9th and 10th frames to go for Ruth Guerster.
Ruth have to come back now with a strike after that bad miss. No, still not getting the follow through. She's turning the hand as she lets the ball go. She knows it, and she's just not correcting.
It's a pretty hairy situation in a one-game match. You don't really have too much time to think about what you should be doing. You're just hoping that the game ends and you're the winner. It's a very difficult situation.
Yes, as much as you know what you're doing wrong, you get up there and you say, I'll do it right next time, but next time comes and goes and you still haven't done it. It takes a lot of concentration.
Well, Ruth pushed that one away nicely, and that's a spare for her. 18 pins the difference going into this 10th frame, and the situation is if Jill Coombs can get a strike on this first ball in the 10th frame, she will win the game. She needs a strike here to shut the gate on Ruth Guerster.
And Guerster's only hope is that if Jill leaves a split, it doesn't convert. And we'll see how it looks.
Well, she's left herself a very easy spare to go for there. A strike would have shut the gate, but still a little bit of room for Ruth Guerster to make a brilliant comeback here in the 10th frame. Let's see what happens.
Must get the strike. How does it look?
Well, there's a chance, and this missed 5-pin could end up costing Ruth Guerster the match. 17 pins the difference now in the 9th frame, and Jill has to get this spare to win the game.
And ironically, it's the same pin that Ruth missed.
She's got it.
There'll be no miss from Jill.
Unless something drastic happens in the 10th frame and Jill fouls on the bonus ball, she's won this game and caused the first upset in our P&O Invitational Series.
Ruth going through the motions.
Oh, what a ball that was. Just a fraction late, but the game's not quite over yet. Jill Coombs still needs to keep the ball on the lane and keep her feet behind the foul line.
And to hold Ruth out, she must get more than 3 pins.
Well, she's well behind the foul line, and she's hit the head pin. That's enough. 199, and she's going to win this game and meet Jenny Burton of Canberra in our next televised match for the women. In a couple of weeks' time, Ruth Guerster is going to lose this game and finish 4th in the tournament. She's going to win $300.
A great comeback from Jill. She opened the first frame. Ruth looked solid with 3 strikes in the first 4 balls, yet she's behind. This is the way 10-pin bowling can go.
And that's the end of the game now. A 9 count for Ruth Guerster, finishing with 194. Jill Coombs, the winner of the match, with 199.